Hello, it's Kyle with your website review video. First of all, thanks for booking the gig. I always get to enjoy learning about new businesses and great stuff you guys are up to. It's always educational for me, so hopefully I want to make this as educational, as informative, and as worth your investment as possible. Looks like you guys got a cool thing here. Looks like you guys are familiar with the web. You know, you kind of know how to make things happen. You know, obviously you have that other successful project, so pretty neat to see a different take on the search engine and that sort of thing. I feel like as far as the marketplace goes, search itself has consolidated considerably over the last few years, and specialization engines is quote unquote. I know you're not a search engine per se, but um, sites who specialize and help make the search experience more relevant and helpful. I believe that is a budding industry that that you may be at the cusp of and on ahead of the curve on. We have the major search engines, but how we use them and interface with them is probably a wide open experience and something that could be a place to gain significant market share. So it's just an interesting concept to think about. But overall, what I think what you have going on here, it sounds like you're on the right track. This is going to be a tough one though, because it's like people, what you're working with here. It's not that your search engine or your experience isn't better. I like it. I think it's actually pretty neat and something I would consider using myself. It's not that it's not better or not beneficial or valuable. What you're primarily dealing with is changing habit. Search engines become habit more so than they do anything else in that regard. As long as the experience is efficient and you pretty much get what you need, it's good enough, so to speak. So people aren't really looking for other options. Do you see how that works? Typically, people need some sort of pain or some sort of negative motivation to change something that is relatively, sort of stable in their life, if you know what I mean. They need something that they need a profound reason for switching. So that's going to be your challenge. Typically speaking, businesses need to have a profound reason for being in business in order for them to exist and expand and those sorts of things. So it's going to be important for you to get clear on those profound reasons and what are the real values and benefits of what you deliver here. You have a clever video here. My feeling is it's not up to par in quality and where you need it to be in terms of having people take you seriously. I think in a lot of ways it's what you want to say, but that sort of quirky robot voice is probably not going to get you taken seriously too much. I'm not sure what your demographic is or what your niche is, but I like the playful side of it. I like the animals involved. Definitely all good stuff here, but considering that, to be able to get some sort of onboarding, to be able to get people to want to come back here, is something that's going to be a challenge and something that you're going to need consistent effort and repetition. Most importantly, repetition is going to be your main force here that you're going to have to use to get people to come back here. So your domain is easy to spell for the most part. That'll be easy for people to type in. Probably a little bit more complex than Google, but either way, that shouldn't be too much of a barrier. What I don't see here, talking about your website, quickly, I don't see any sort of set as my default search engine. I know that there's an ability to, or set as my homepage. I know there's an ability to do that. So you definitely want to, have some sort of button like that, up at the top, so people can set that as their homepage. And as far as I understand it, I know there's some scripting and some different ways for, I know at least with a Mac, for an ability to set a sort of default search engine. The way I don't know the way things are searched. I'm not quite sure how that works, but any ways that you can automate that and streamline that process would be directly to your benefit for sure. I definitely, as far as oftentimes what I'll have to do here is sort of review the product itself before I talk about marketing the product. And the product has to be solid and sound and valuable before I can actually provide any decent marketing experience or internet marketing or even website. As your website is an extension of your marketing, so I need to make sure that the product's good. We need to see if we can get good marketing behind it, and then a good website to back all of that up. That's really what it comes down to at the end of the day. So, yeah, I mean, you have the video here. That's cool. You definitely want a video front and center. The video itself, again, I feel like a female tone would be better. I sort of picture a futuristic sort of concept, sort of presenting the future of how search happens. You could really own that space as far as being that quote-unquote future leader of search engines. What you're doing here is probably something that you can't really do on a small level. You probably either need to go big with this thing or you need to go home with it, if you know what I mean. I'm not sure what's in it as far as monetization goes, if you're going to eventually start running your own ads. I'm assuming that the possibilities as far as, if you have the traffic, the search traffic, I'm sure that the possibilities are relatively endless here. So, yeah, I mean, it sounds like you got a good model here as long as you have the follow through and the resources to, to see this thing to the light of day. The bigger the challenge sometimes, you need more resources and you need a consistent effort over a number of years for this to even see any sort of, fruition. So this is definitely going to be a marathon project for sure in terms of that. So I'm just thinking about, I got a few other things I want to mention here, but what's going to be the most relevant? What I would do is video is, of course, video and image is naturally, what you guys do. But I would have a bit of a tagline up here, because you're not Google, and when you go to Google, you see just the image, right, in the search bar. Yeah, that's nice, but that's built on years of, built on years of marketing and years of people using the platform. So you want to be careful with that because you don't have that authority, you don't have that privilege. So therefore, I recommend, putting a tagline up here above the video, move the video down a bit. The all-new visual-based search engine that will change the way you think about searching forever. Something like that, something that's bold, something that's staking a claim, and something that's going to get people's attention. So, that's going to help, because not everybody's going to watch this video. I'm sure your stats will show that only a certain percentage of people are watching this video. I noticed that your bounce rate is very low, and you're getting good engagement on the page, which is fantastic. I'm sure people want to try this, but that some sort of tagline like the one I just said will be ideal and will probably help your engagement even farther. That video, yeah, it's short, it's sweet, it's to the point, but it's a little quirky, it's a little weird. I'm 29, and I'm sure that there's younger people who will gladly sit through that, but it gets to be a little bit strange for me, and I'm still well within the age demographic of somebody who's looking for alternative search engines. So yeah, I mean, you're up to some good stuff here. There's not a whole lot that I can really convey to you other than you want to talk about multi-channel, multi-path ways of engaging with your audience. That's why I'm suggesting text. That's why I'm suggesting some sort of button to set as your homepage. Those sorts of things will will help you out considerably. I know you gave me an example of a new version. I see maybe you're offering different setups. That's pretty cool. I personally like the way you have it set up now. I did a search for, what did I do, just sort of randomly, monster trucks, I think. So I get, a variety of searches, and I actually like this result myself, but maybe it's, I'm not sure what, what your statistics or what your reports are showing, but, this is pretty cool. I was just thinking that these icons could stand to be a little bit bigger. It'd be nice to see those and a little bit larger because I'm looking, oftentimes I look for the trusted sites like Wikipedia or YouTube. The tile's just a little bit small. I mean, now that I've used the search engine twice, I'm actually training myself to look for these tiles. But now what I also see are these play buttons. Does that mean this is a video? Is that what that means? Let's see. Yeah, maybe that is the case. Okay, so I'm not quite sure what that is specifically, but yeah, the visual-based setup is awesome. It's fun to not have to click through everything. That's going to definitely have implications as far as, is this actually counting as a page load to this website, to the monstertrucks.net website? Is that counting as a page load, or does it not even count? Is that just a screenshot? I'm not sure how that works, but that's interesting. As a web developer, I'd like to know how that works. But however you want to arrange it, I mean, that could be, depending on somebody's preference, I suppose. But as far as a default one, this is really follows your image-based experience. You know what I mean? This really kind of locks in on that. So, something you might want to think about as far as, maybe you don't need to change anything in that regard, but maybe you can have the options like you said. I just want to use, just kind of give you my own personal bias in saying that I like this how it is. What else do we have here? So this is the individual, okay, maybe in the column, so to speak. Okay, that's interesting. I don't have a whole lot to tell you in regards to that. I mean, you're going to have to test it and see what's building more engagement. Your testing throughout this is, of course, going to be your lifeblood as far as how to serve the market and how to get people to engage with you on more levels and more depth. What else did I go to? So this is the parent company website. I don't think we're here to do much with that at the moment. Let me see if I can find, where was I here? I find the data here. So here we go, okay. So I'm not sure how you're getting traffic. Are you getting paid traffic or organic traffic? I'm not sure you answered that here. So regardless, however you're getting traffic, it looks like you're doing a good job at finding people who engage with the site. Average visit duration 5 minutes. That's interesting. I'm not quite sure why they would be there that long, but yeah, hey, whatever works. If you're getting good engagement and good duration, it tells you you're doing something right. Here's the thing: is there's what we just talked about was on-site stuff, right? This is the stuff that's really about the site itself, how to optimize the site. That's certainly part of your marketing, certainly part of your efforts, and certainly part of how you want to. What you want to think about as far as, how do we grow this business? How do we gain market share? But the other side of this, the other side of that coin is going to be your offsite marketing. How are you going to engage with people out in the world who, quote unquote, aren't necessarily looking for a different search engine? So in a lot of ways, you're going to have to manufacture a problem. You're going to have to manufacture the complaints. And these are probably things and frustrations that people already have. We tend to just use search engines. They become a commodity in our life, and we don't really think about the experience much other than, well, it's what it is, and we don't really ask for anything better. But I know myself, I know that there are just hundreds and thousands of good websites that I'm not finding because of Google's algorithm. I'm not telling you to change what Google does. I'm not sure you have the resources to do that, but is there a way that you could possibly rank or give a different sort of wildcard experience as far as other websites, a different way of rating them? There seems to be a gap between the way, it's sort of a monopoly, if you follow me. The way Google's algorithms work, it seems like Yahoo and the other ones follow closely behind them as far as how they rank. And that's probably the best that anybody's come up with so far. But, as far as relevance to social dynamics, could you bring the best of what Bing is doing and what Google is doing? Could you interface the two of them? As far as I understand it, I forget if I was watching a keynote or something like that. Did somebody say that they're doing social, some sort of social connection now? So I'm into motocross. Let's see what I get with that when I do a search here. So I don't see anything in particular to me this looks identical to Google. So I'm not sure. I don't see anything that's like, wow, this is way better, or wow, this is different. Let's go to Google and type in a search too, just to kind of give you a view into the world of somebody else searching, to give you some ideas here. So Transworld comes up first there. What are they ranking here? Yeah, Transworld comes up there first. I mean, there's nothing that different here. It's all using the same basic stuff. And when I see everybody doing something one way, I know there's a lot of opportunity here. I don't know if I necessarily have the answers for you as far as how to decide what to do with this, but what I'm looking for is some variety, some opportunity to display search maybe a little bit differently. You see where I'm going with all that? Just to bring the best of what the web has to offer, maybe in your own way. I know the visual side of things is your specialty. So I'm not sure what that means for you, but just to kind of give you an insight into somebody I'm on a computer a lot. I represent a possible high frequency customer for you, and those are the experiences and frustrations that I've had. So at this point, it's the person who knows how to game search engines the best, who knows how to who has the resources to blog like crazy, who has the ability to build enough backlinks, all the ways that we game search engines as web developers. Those are the people who went out, but perhaps there are much better, more organic results that we could potentially benefit from a lot more. I don't know how to convey that to you or how that affects you or helps you or hurts you or whatever, but just to kind of give you an insight into what's happening inside the head of another, frequent web search engine user. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot, you can think of about really how are you going to onboard people. The awareness phase is what it looks like. You've got something here that's good enough to launch. I know you probably have some certain criteria that you're going to need to cover before you actually take it to a launch, a live version. But how are you going to win the hearts and minds of people that are using other search engines consistently? When I want to search for something, I don't think about what search engine I want to use anymore. So that's where you're going to have to link into people. Why do they, why do we automatically just go to Google or Yahoo or Bing? It's because it's a habit, and that's really all it comes down to. Because it's a habit, and that's really where your work's going to be in helping shift that habit for people in whatever way that it is for you. Here's the thing: we tend to think about the features of our products. We tend to think of, oh, well, our product or service does this, this, and this, X, Y, or Z. The features don't matter in your marketing. What matter in your marketing, and you're going to want to write this down, are the benefits. The benefits are what matter in your marketing. That's really what it comes down to. How is it going to benefit your customer? How is it really going to, just bring an extra quality of life to your customer as far as search time, those sorts of things. Is it to decrease the amount of time spent searching, to find more relevant searches, to really allow you to, it is nice to be able to see every single page that you're getting into before you actually click it. I'm sure that will help save time in various ways in various searches. So, you've got something here. It's something definitely you want to, keep running with the ball, so to speak. But you want to focus on the features. As I mentioned, when I go back to the homepage, definitely want to put a headline, some sort of something in here that's very text-based. People are going to read a headline before they watch a video. They may not they'll probably watch a video before they read a giant paragraph of text, but they're going to read a headline before they watch a video. So the dogs are cool. I like the comparison. You got it down for the most part. Let's just talk about, how do we make this thing just that much better? We talk about that headline. I can't remember what I said specifically, but you probably want to go back and use that as a foundation, or use something that's similar or whatever feels true for you guys. This sort of puts a play on, to me, if you remember the Mac versus PC ads that they used to do, right? Like the nerd sort of thing, and then the cool guy. So the cool Mac guy. That's sort of what I see you representing here in that terms. So trying to think of what else I have here. You're doing pretty much what Google does as far as this goes. Settings, I like the simple setup, that sort of thing. Good stuff. I don't think I have a whole lot here to say other than, as you get ready to bring awareness to this, and as you get ready to, sort of bring this to the world, you need to focus on the benefits of what your website does, and those are the things you want to hammer home on. As far as social media engagement goes, we've got to tell stories. That's how people connect on the web these days in the social era that we're living in. People want to hear stories. They want to hear case studies. They want to hear, even if they're fictional, it doesn't really matter. They want to hear stories about, the challenges that person X had and how person Y found this website and now their life is better. Those are the sorts of things that carry in social media. Do it in an engaging and a compelling and entertaining and informative way, and that's how you gain market share, and that's how you gain attention online. And of course, attention is, in terms of traffic, is everything on the web. So that's the digital economy in a nutshell. So that's all I have for you for now. I could go into little things, but at this point, it's really just about getting clear on the benefits of what you're here to do, knowing what that is, and being able to say that powerfully in a sentence or less. You see where I'm going with that? Your headline is one sentence or less, and you need to say that powerfully and in a way that's valuable to your customer. Not what your website is, but the benefits that your website delivers to them. So there's a little shift there in your thinking. We don't want to say what it is. We want to say the benefits and speak to the benefits using actionable words. Save time, save money, learn, discover, act. All those action words. You see the difference there? Not we are a search engine that helps you do this, this, and this. Just value words in a sentence or less. Ideally, it'd be less. And that's going to represent the keystone, the center of what it is that you're doing here. Boil that down into that sentence. What is that mission? What is the benefit statement? That's going to give you some organization, and it will pretty much act as your compass, so to speak, on everything you do going forward, and align everything with that. As far as the mission, as far as that value-based sentence, that headline sentence, and align everything so it really connects, and you get that strong connection. That's the difference between $1 million brands and $1 billion brands, is that solid branding connection. That that clear compass is there. The mission, the values, everything is top notch. It's you know what I mean by that. You can tell the difference between dealing with a company who doesn't have a clear focus and have a clear vision of who they are, and the companies that do. And usually the experience with them is much more rewarding and enjoyable because of that. So really what you're selling here is an experience. So think about what that experience is and why it's valuable, and use that language to more immediately communicate what you're doing. I would suggest a little bit more of a toned down video depending on your demographic. I wasn't there for those conversations if you've had any. The robot voice is a little bit hard to get in tune with. I just picture more of a futuristic sort of female voice sort of walking me through, quote unquote, the future of search. That would get me excited, but that's my own bias on that. So feel into that and see what you think is best for you. So that's all I have for this video. Please let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything I didn't cover that you want to ask me. Let me know. Otherwise, I wish you the best of luck. All right, we'll see you. Bye-bye.